Welcome back, it's Egwin here from Scope of Life and Beyond Systems. Today we are doing the next progression in our developmental movement series, and we'll add even more of our extremities and also of lateral flexion in our spine already, but we're still on the ground, we're still talking about those rolling patterns. And for those of you who just jumped in, these developed movement patterns, they are really there to restructure and recalibrate your movement system from scratch. Now, I call them developmental movement patterns because they are literally the way a baby learns to move. And so those are movement patterns that exist and that are used to train both coordination and strength of the muscles in a physiological way in order to prepare a human being for more complex movement patterns like running, dancing, walking, swimming, whatever. So this is literally the foundation, and the fun thing here, or the good thing here, is since those patterns are so fundamental, each and every one has them programmed in themselves anyway. Sometimes they just need a little bit of a kickstart in order for the body to remember how it originally organized movement around its central axis and strengthened itself through movement in order to be able to do more and more and more complex movement patterns. So this is both a training exercise as well as a quite healing experience actually, because it allows you to reset movement patterns that over time might have washed out a little bit or might have been distorted through trauma or through copying from other human beings, and so on and so on. And almost everyone has some patterns that are not 100% optimal. That being said, let's jump right into this exercise. This exercise today, as mentioned, we are working a little bit more already with our legs. If you haven't checked out the other videos before, I suggest do that as well. You can watch this video, it's always a standalone exercise as well. But if you're really interested in those progressions and starting building it up from the foundation, then I'll suggest you jump to my channel and literally start from scratch with that movement developmental series. All right. This time, again, we start with a roll, but then it's getting more interesting. From here, once again, we start with the roll we did last time. Legs are up. One leg on top is leading me to the side, and I come to my belly. Now, this time, both arms are facing palm down on the ground. My right leg right now is still extended. My left knee is rather high up. That's difference to the last time already. I'm going to show that to you from a different angle in a second. Now what we are going to do here is we're going to pull in the left knee even further and then try to push ourselves forward and close the right side of the body. So it's literally from here, my left knee and my left elbow, they are rather close to each other. From this position, I'm going to literally, as if I want to push off with my left foot, I'm going to push off and bring the right knee towards my right elbow. So from here, it's literally this movement. You can either lift the elbow or you can leave it on the ground. Try both. It's literally just about a variation, and variations are always good in those exercises. So from here you come to the other side, and then again you place your left arm a little bit further out front, and you do that on the other side, and so on and so on. So this is just a sort of a crawling aspect here. Alright, so let me show you this exercise from another angle. I'm going to do it sideways. My knees are up. One knee leads the movement to the side. My body rolls over. Now I'm closed on my left side. My left knee is closer to my left elbow. My left hip joint is extremely open right now. My right hip joint is rather straight. From this position, I'm pushing off with my left leg, I'm pulling a little bit with my left arm, and I'm pulling my right knee up to my right elbow. So basically I'm closing on the right side. Then I let my left arm just simply slip to the front. And I'm again starting to push off with my right foot here and close on the left side. So this is literally this crawling pattern that uses lateral flexion in my spine and that also uses hip mobility. Now, this is one of the first stages where we start to combine movement of our core and our torso muscles with movement of our prime movers in the legs, and with like flexing the hip joint, extending the hip joint. This is for the first time that we literally start to differentiate between the left and the right, and we push off and we start moving in sort of this almost snake type action on the ground. Now, as intense as I did it here, like with this strong, rather strong curve in the spine, I'm still emulating a human being. I'm still not talking about a lizard crawl or anything like those animal moves. They are quite similar in certain ways, but in this case we're still talking about human development. So the pattern that I suggest for today, it gets a little bit more complex every time we're doing those exercises. The pattern that I suggest is simply starting from the beginning, roll to the side, do 1 or 2 of those sweeps on the ground, then again bring this leg backwards and let yourself flip over to the beginning, to the starting point. Then you do the whole exercise in the other direction. So the right foot leads over. You come to your belly. Notice that your head is gently lifted in one line of your spine. So it's not lifted like this all the way back. It's just lifted a little bit. And from this position, whoop, whoop, whoop. We do just some of those crawls out front. And then again, to come back to the middle. The leg leads backwards and out, and I roll back to the center. Now this is how this whole flow and movement is supposed to work. That's the next progression for this week. And yeah, I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, then leave them in the comment box below. If you're unsure where we are at right here or what we really want, make sure to watch the previous videos in order to get this whole understanding of what we're trying to do with those strange movement patterns. And yeah, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet and want to stay up to date. I'm at the moment regularly posting such things, and we're really going to progress completely from the ground, all the different literally movement levels up until standing and walking. Have a wonderful time, thanks for watching, make sure to subscribe and see you soon guys, bye!